Hello, all of my wonderful makeup bees. I decided I wanted to do another makeup tutorial. Well, actually, it's technically my first makeup tutorial that's actually been successful. I've filmed a few tutorials and all of them have been a major disaster, but I decided that I wanted to film something. This actually goes out to my friend Kayla. She wanted me to do a look using the Naked 2 palette, which has already been a plan of mine, but I decided to actually go forth with it. Be quiet out there. And I decided to do with the Naked 2 palette. She wanted something that was really, more of a natural, something romantic. And I came up with this. I think this is very wearable for a lot of different people. You can really amp this look up by adding some wing liner, maybe some false lashes, maybe doing a little bit more bold of a lip. I did want to do an alternate using my soft matte lip cream in Transylvania, but I just stuck with the nude one for this time. I'll do a look with a more intense lip at a different time. Plus, with us getting to spring, the dark purples aren't really as popular, even though I think that everyone should just wear dark purple lipstick all the time, but whatever. So if you want to see how I got this look here today, then please keep watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
So the first thing that we're going to start off with is prepping the lips with a chapstick. This is the dual-ended chapstick in Day and Night, and I'm starting with the day side. The next thing that we're going to go with is a nice moisturizer, and I am using the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizer in their original formula. They do have a gel type of, in the same moisturizer, the gel formula. That one is really nice for people who have a little bit more oily skin, but I prefer the original. Just rubbing that all in my face, making sure to pat around and distribute it evenly. The next thing I'm going to go into is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizers in the moisturizing formula. I'm just using this all over the skin to add some extra moisture on the skin. And it smells really good, as you can see by my face. So the next thing I'll be going in with is the Smashbox Primer Water. I really love this just to be able to get the face ready for my foundation and any other products, just because it does add a little bit of tackiness. I'm going to spray my Real Techniques buffing brush with some of the e.l.f. setting spray just to get my brush ready. And as you can see in my face, I totally forgot I wanted to put some concealer under my eyes to help eliminate some of the bags that I have going on. So I'm going to go in with a little concealer brush here. I don't even remember the name of it. And I'm going to go in with the Erase Paste from Benefit. And I believe this is the medium shade. I got this in a concealer palette and it lasts forever. So I'm just using it up. I probably should have gone with more of a lighter shade, but this is what they had, so this is what I'm using. I'm going to go ahead and just get the sides of the nose and right under the eyes just because it conceals really, really nice, especially around the nose because I have so much redness going on. And I do like to prep my eyelids a little bit with it. I don't know what I just said there, but oh well. Make funny faces. I'm going to go back with my brush and start applying my foundation as I was going to. What I'm doing is a mixture of my L'Oreal True Match in N2 and C1. And this is, as I mentioned before, the Real Techniques buffing brush. I really like this because it's very dense, so it's nice for applying the foundation. I use circular motions and I'm able to, apply a really good base. Because I am using the L'Oreal True Match, I do have to go over quite a bit, with a couple of coats to be able to cover all the redness that I have on my face. I could use a skin neutralizing type of primer to help with the redness. I just feel like I like a full coverage anyway, so it's okay that I use a little bit more. And what I end up doing is blending it down the neck, and when I take a look at the face and see where there's more redness, I'll go ahead and take some spots like this, and I'll just dab it on my cheeks to help get more coverage, and then start smoothing it out. And mostly I end up doing that with the cheeks closer to my ears, because as you can see, I have a lot of pigmentation and redness in those areas. So the next thing I'm going to do is start applying some concealer to highlight my face. I'm using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly. Just going to place it underneath the eyes, on my nose, by my cupid's bow, on my chin, and just on my forehead. Normally I would end up using a different brush to be able to blend this out, like possibly a beauty blender. I'll use the tip that has the pointy end, but because I have my Real Techniques buffing brush, I end up using that one to be able to buff it in today, but normally I wouldn't go with this method just because I don't think that it applies as nicely, so I probably won't be doing that with this step. I do have a brush that is a little bit more denser, and I believe it's called a precision brush from Real Techniques, or maybe even a I don't remember what it's called. I'll find out what it is. It's part of the set that comes with these when I originally got them. It's a little bit denser. I used to use it for contour, but I didn't like how harsh of a line it gave me. But I actually think that that brush would be really nice to be able to use for concealer because it is denser and a little bit pointy. So I'm going to go ahead and set that concealer using my NYX HD powder in Banana. This is, from my understanding, as a new powder from them, and there's a lot of the banana yellow base powders coming out. I do really like this, and my favorite brush to apply any sort of powder under my eyes is the e.l.f. blush brush. Then I'm going to go ahead with the e.l.f. Kabuki brush that I got for Christmas. I'm going to use some of the Maybelline Dream Matte powder, or it's Dream Wonder powder in number 10 Ivory. Just going to go ahead and make sure that that's around the face just to mattify everything. Then I'm going to go in with my Too Faced bronzer in Sun Bunny, and I'm going to apply that with my powder brush from Real Techniques. I really like this one because it has a little bit of shimmer to it, and I think it just applies beautifully and adds some shine to the face. I do also like the Chocolate Soleil. I ended up getting a bunch of sample ones, and I got that from Ulta. They had the pack of like 5 of them for 18 bucks or $22. It was really nice. So I'm going to contour the face with some actually eyebrow shadow. It's the Maybelline Ultra Brow in light brown. I'm going to apply that with my angled blush brush from Sephora. And I'm just going to go ahead and make sure to get in the cheekbones with that and underneath right to the back of the jaw to help kind of slim that out a little bit. And of course, around the top of the forehead. Unfortunately, due to bad lighting, you can't really see too much of the contour as much as I would have liked, but it is there. Until I get better lighting, I'll probably just amp it up a little bit. Then with a Real Techniques blush brush, I'm going to go ahead and go in with a blush that I got from it is the Lorac Pro To Go, and it's the pink shade. And then with a e.l.f. fan brush, I'm going to go in with my Mary Luminizer highlighter, and I'm just going to apply that on top of the cheekbones, a little bit on top of the nose, on the cupid's bow, and on the tip of my nose and chin, and a little bit on the forehead. Of course, and again, due to bad lighting, you can't see it as well, but it has a beautiful natural glow, and you can see a little bit on my cheekbones. It's a lot better in person. I like using the fan brush better than the brush I was using before, just because I feel like it doesn't give as harsh of a line, and it allows you to be able to have a little more control, believe it or not. I was using a Real Techniques, I think it was just like a buffing brush of some kind, a big fluffy one, and I just felt like it didn't do the job. Now I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in Taupe. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill my eyebrows in with this. Nothing too fancy. I actually, as you notice, my eyebrows here, I only have pretty much a half an eyebrow. And I made this decision because my eyebrows grow so uneven on each side that the way the hairs grow, it was just much easier for me to draw the last little tiny bit of my eyebrow on, and right where the arch starts, just pretty much take that off of there. And it can grow, eventually it'll grow back, and hopefully I'll be able to shape it a little bit better, but it was just becoming such a hassle to try to match the eyebrows that, even now I still have a little bit of trouble. It's a work in progress. If you guys have any recommendations for a really good brow product besides this, I was thinking about trying the NYX Brow Trio, which has the powder, the pomade, and the wax. I was thinking about getting that, but if you know how that is, let me know, just because I'm interested in trying something a little bit different. So next I'm going to go in with some Benefit Gimme Brow in the color Dark, and I'm going to put that on an angled brush. And I'm actually just going to fill in my eyebrows a little bit more, and that's just because, again, I don't have any hairs on the back and, the tail end of my eyebrows. So I want to make it a little bit fuller looking. And obviously with the little spoolie that they have on it, that's not really going to do the trick. I'm still working on this technique as well because as you can see, it's not going on as pigmented. So that's why I'm interested in possibly trying a pomade just to see how that goes. And then just to kind of have everything be placed really nicely, just take a Makeup Geek spoolie brush to kind of place everything. And then all over the lid, I'm going to go ahead and start applying a base shadow just to make sure that everything's set nicely. And what I started with was the color Foxy, and that's from the Naked 2 palette. That's the first shade that they have in there, and that's just nice to start everything off with. Then with that same brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip into my Tars. It's the Tarte palette that from the Bon Voyage. It's the color Fallen Louvre. It's just a kind of like a peach color. It's sort of like Makeup Geek's Peach Smoothie, I guess is something that it could be similar to. And this is just going to be a really nice transition color to put in the crease. This is just to help everything blend really, really nice and add just a tiny bit of definition, but not too much. Then with the color Tease, which is also from the Naked 2 palette, I'm going to go ahead and put that into the crease area just to add some depth. And I'm using a Real Technique brush from the eyeshadow palette, or not palette, but like eyeshadow set that they gave. And this is just going to go into, this fits really nice into the crease. It's a little bit smaller just to help define everything. And then with a flat, stiff brush, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the color YDK. This is a really nice sparkly color, and I will say that this type of color you definitely want to use a flat, stiff brush for because it does have quite a bit of fallout if you try to use a different kind of brush. I do believe that this is also really great to be able to use, it's really great to use more of a either like your finger or even getting the brush wet just to make sure that everything goes on really nice. So I'm just using patting motions with this because like I said, if you try to use a lot of like sweeping motions, I feel like there is a ton of fallout, especially from this color. And I believe the color Chopper is kind of like that too, but not quite as bad as this YDK. It's just so crumbly, but it's the most beautiful color in the palette, so I put up with it just because. And then going back in with that little paddle brush again, I'm going to go back into the, with the color Tease, and I'm actually going to mix that with the color Busted, which is a purpley sort of color, and I'm doing this in the outer corner just so that I'm able to add some, darkness, depth to the look, and with that, give it kind of a sultry look on the outside. So what I do is I kind of put it at an angle and then I start working it into the crease and stopping about a third of the way in when it comes to the product, and then using just what's ever left on the brush to bring it in a little bit further. And just want to stick with more as much of a rounded shape as I can on top and just winging it out a little bit. But I don't actually like to wing it out too much just because I think that it flatters my eyes a lot better to do it like this versus going super dramatic out. I don't think it looks very nice on me. And of course, if you make a mistake, you just do what I do and use your fingers to fix it. It would be smart if I would use tape, but I don't like to deal with all that business. And then I'm using a Makeup Geek blending brush. It's a stiff dome brush, and I'm just making sure that I blend out those harsh lines a little bit, just so that it looks a little bit more blended versus it being, shadow and then more of a skin color. So I'm going to go in with this NYC black eyeliner. Nothing special, just a black eyeliner. I like it because it's super creamy, it's really affordable, and it does stay in the waterline really, really good. So I do like this one, and it doesn't transfer all over the place. Another really good one if you're looking for more of a high end is the Urban Decay in Perversion. I was going to use that one, and I had both of them in front of me, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Then with this little interesting brush that I got a million years ago from Revlon, it has a dual end, it's angled, and then the other side has this tiny, tiny little paddle. I'm actually going in with the purple color Busted just along the lash line, and then in the inner corner, once I was done, I went ahead and went in with the color Booty Call. These names are so interesting. With the color Booty Call just to add kind of a highlight into the eyes. And then with a brush that actually came with, I believe, the Naked 3 palette, or it could have been the Naked 2. It's got the dual-ended brush here, and I'm just using more of the stiffer side, and I'm actually going in with Booty Call on the inner corner, as well as the eyebrow, just to highlight that up there. And it actually shows up on camera, which is super surprising considering nothing else does. And I keep making that face because it's so exciting. And because I was going to do both looks for the lips, that's why I was kind of putting my finger up there. It's like, okay, for the first one, I'm going to do this. So this is the Revlon Color Stay Lip Liner in the color Natural. This is just, it's basically just a really light color, and it's just nice to add to be able to keep the lip color from feathering out. It doesn't add a lot of color to the lips. I basically am just doing it to have a base that helps neutralize my lips a little bit, and it have something that the lipstick can adhere to make it last a little bit longer. And I am doing this on the bottom and the top of the lip. I just, part of it I wasn't really recording all that much just because my bottom of my face was off camera. Then I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Color Sensational, and this is their new, like, the Fully Bloomed or the Bloomed line pastel colors. And this is in the one called actually Barely Bloomed. This is a really nice light nude color on the peachy side. I really like using this one when I don't want to do too much when it comes to the lips. I think it looks really pretty. And then I'm going to go in with the NYX Butter Gloss in Apple Strudel. This is a really nice formula. It's not super sticky. It's a really nice gloss that feels wonderful on the lips, very moisturizing, and it is more of a peachy nude color, so it works really well with this, this combination. Then I'm going in with the e.l.f. setting spray just to set everything on my face. And I was using the Makeup Forever one. I just ran out of it, so I'm just using up the e.l.f. one. And of course, I'm a dork and totally forgot to put mascara on. I do things in such a weird order. I don't know what my deal is. Normally the lips is the last thing I do, but I was really excited to do them, so I totally forgot about mascara. And sometimes I forget about mascara altogether, and I'm like, why do my eyes look so weird? So I'll be going in with some mascara. This is the Urban Decay in Perversion. I really, really like this mascara. It's a super wonderful formula. It makes my lashes look great. I used to be really into the Benefit They're Real because I loved the brush. And the formula was really great too, but this one has just been the most amazing thing ever, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to go on with a couple of coats of that on the eyes. Now, if you have a lot of trouble like me with transferring to the bottom lashes, you can go ahead and just be easy with the bottom or don't even apply any at all. So the last thing that I'm going to end up finishing off with here is going to be some perfume, and this is the Elizabeth James in Nirvana Black. This is my absolute favorite. It smells wonderful. This is just to finish off everything. And I thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it, and see you in my next one.